Hey, excuse me, we ready to order.
Yes, sir.
We ready to order.
Yes.
Yeah, what up, big dog? Let me get some ice water, bro, cause there ain't no ice in this. Let me get the water. I need the water cold, bro. I'm so cold, like it made my teeth hurt.
Got it.
Alright.
Ice water. No problem.
And we need some extra ranch, alright? We need like a y'all got a kiddie pool full of it? Can we get like a kiddie pool?
Ranch. Extra ranch. Got it.
Enough, right, babe? Be enough, right? I guess a kiddie pool would be enough. Yeah, let me get that. Oh, one more thing, bro. Tell them I want my food hot, alright? Hot, but not too hot, okay? And then I want it seasoned, but not too salty, bro. We gonna send that shit back, bro.
Got it.
Alright, thank you.
I'll let them know in that. All right, thank you, sir. All right, should be out shortly.
I just know these niggas not gonna tip me. Hey folks, how we doing? How was everything? It was alright. Everything was cold though, to be honest with you. It was alright. Well, sorry about that. Alright. Y'all ready to go? Alright, well you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. I ain't tipping that nigga, this is his job. Look, don't we need that $5 for gas?
Y'all motherfucking black folk, please start tipping or something, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that says a lot about y'all mind of abundance. Y'all mind is so small, it's almost like you think if you tip this nigga, it gonna make you fall off. Get out of here. Either, you know what I'm saying, or you really just straight up hating. You hating on this motherfucker. You didn't order pizza, all type of shit, and you trying not to tip this motherfucker. You either hating or something wrong with your mind of abundance, man. Y'all need to check that shit.
If you're going to tip, the standard is 20%. A lot of African Americans don't tip at all. Listen, I'm a restaurant server, and I'm a black one, right? So we work for people's change, and I don't care what ethnicity you are. So with me working for tips, that means I don't see skin color. All I see is money. So I don't have a reason to lie. And I could honestly say, as a server, when I go out and dine somewhere, you always tip based on service. I don't care. I stand by that. You tip based on service. You receive good service, please tip accordingly. You receive bad service, please tip accordingly. Boom. African Americans, not all, but the majority, and I'm talking at least 80%, do not tip appropriately. A lot of them don't even tip at all.
You know what's funny? When I used to work in IHOP years ago, I remember being a hostess there. And whenever a black family or whoever black comes in, people would be running away like, oh, I don't want them. I don't want them. Like, we already look bad when we go to places we don't be tipping. And you gonna turn around and not get the girl to tip. Me, I tip well for that very reason. Because I know people are gonna look at me like, oh, this black girl not gonna tip me nothing. So I tip well on purpose.
I know don't tip.
But it's like
black people don't tip. What is the percentage?
But typically, as a whole, $5 like is the number. They got $100 table and still give you $5.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
shit.
So it's like,
What is the percentage of tippers of all races?
someone of more of like an Indian descent typically is a frugal tipper also.
Hold up, you giving it to us watered down. You use a frugal as
Yeah. They don't
plate.
tip. White people probably tip the best. Some people, when they do the tip and they like treat it like acorns.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty. I like the idea of $19 coming out of my account.
No, facts,
as
facts,
opposed
facts.
to like
No, you know what?
$18.75.
I don't think it's
But
that at all. I think y'all flex it because y'all can do the math quickly in your head. That's what I think y'all.
Hey, I'm sure y'all have heard the stereotype that black people aren't great tippers. And it's so unfortunate that that's a stereotype, because now that that's ingrained sort of in the service industry, like it's become this sort of like self-perpetuating machine or cycle. Like in the case of a restaurant, a black party comes in, they sit down. The server of that section sees this party and they're like, well, I'm not gonna get tipped well. So they end up not providing as good a service as they normally do. Problem is, now that the black party isn't getting good service, they're like, well, I'm not gonna tip. So now the server feels validated in not providing as good a service because they didn't get a good tip. problem is also, if the black party just tips anyway a good amount, the server could also be validated to provide mediocre service and still, you know what I mean? So how do we fix that? How can we fix that cycle?
Tipping in America has always been a topic of discussion. But when it comes to black people tipping, there's always been a lot of controversy involved. There's always been a lot of stereotypes, and there's always been a lot of history behind it. Well, today we're gonna break it all down. The history of tipping, why the stereotype exists, and what the research actually says. And to understand this, we have to go back. You see, after the Civil War, tipping became a way for businesses to avoid paying workers fair wages, especially the newly freed black workers. Employers in the hospitality industry, including restaurants and hotels, often hired black workers, but they didn't pay them a base wage. Instead, they were expected to live off tips. This wasn't just an economic practice, it was a way to keep black labor cheap and unstable. Over time, tipping became standardized across all races and industries, but the foundation of it was already corrupt. Today, we still see tipping culture disproportionately affecting service workers, many of whom are black and brown. So where does the idea come from that black people don't tip? Well, research at Cornell University found out that average black diners tip about 20% less than white diners. But that number needs context. First of all, economic disparities play a huge role in black households. Black households have less generational wealth, which affects spending habits. Tipping is seen as an extra cost, and if money is tight, then that extra cost might not be prioritized. Second, tipping culture isn't the same across all communities. Some black diners might not have been raised with tipping as a norm, especially if their grandparents and parents didn't frequent restaurants where tipping was expected. And third, there's the issue of the service itself. Many black diners report receiving worse service than white customers, sometimes based on the assumption that they won't tip well. It becomes a cycle. Servers assume black customers won't tip, so they provide worse service, and then the tip reflects that experience. The truth is, tipping is less about race and more about education, experience, and economic status. But because the stereotype exists, it affects how black diners are treated in restaurants and how servers approach them. So what's the solution? If tipping isn't something you grew up doing, it's important to recognize that servers rely on tips to make a living. Standard tipping in the US is 15 to 20%. Anything less than that directly affects someone's paycheck. Restaurants should push for fair wages so workers aren't solely dependent on tips. If tipping wasn't a necessity, we wouldn't be having this conversation at all. When we know better, we do better. The more we normalize tipping properly, the less the stereotype will be used against us. At the end of the day, this is bigger than just tipping. It's about history, perception, and fairness. What do you think? Have you ever been part of this conversation? Whether as a server or a diner? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hate to say this, but black people are the worst tables to serve. The worst. And if you worked in the service industry, bro, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a conversation that servers whisper amongst themselves and rarely say out loud. But serving black tables can be the hardest part of the job. Serving black tables is some of the most frustrating shit you could deal with as a restaurant worker. And I hate to say this, bro, because it's not every black person. It's not. There's black people that come in and they tip and they're sweet and they're kind and they're courteous. But if I had to pick a group of people that tip the worst, it's gonna be black people. And I don't care what anyone says, bro. My experience tells me that this is very true. Everybody else I know that's worked in the service industry agrees. And it's not a racism thing. It's just something's wrong with our culture where we don't think it's necessary to tip. And we just have poor behavior in restaurants in general. So let me ask you something. If you're a person who doesn't tip, would you ever tell your server up front before they take your order that you're not planning on tipping them? Would you do that? No, you wouldn't. Because nobody would. Because deep down, you know it's wrong. And also, you know you probably get different service.
Hey, my name is Tessa, and I'm going to give you the most exponential, spectacular service ever, okay? Hi, Tessa. I think we should tell her. Tell me what? Okay, I'm telling her. So we don't believe in tipping. I just wanted to let you know before you get the check and you're disappointed at us, because we feel like you should just get an hourly job or they should pay you hourly, and you working for tips is your choice, and we don't believe in that. Well, I mean, we're cool though, right? Yeah, I guess. All right, so I would love to start off with a Coke, and she would like a... Where'd she go? 10 minutes later. Hey, excuse me. Oh, what's up? Can we get some drinks over here? I would like a Coke, and she wants a sweet tea. Yeah, there you go. This tastes like Diet Coke. Damn, that's crazy. So you want something to eat, or what's up? I'm kind of uncomfortable at this point. Yeah, I feel the same way. Can we get another server then, please? Yeah, of course. I'm gonna definitely let them know what you told me too, okay?
And look, I get it. There's a bigger conversation to be had about tipping culture in America and how it's a flawed system. And yes, we should be tipping. We should be paying our servers more so they don't have to be tipped. But until that changes, this is the system we have. This is what we have. And somehow every other group of people seems to understand that except us. Except us. And there's no excuse for this nonsense in 2025, bro. I provide great service. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just being real honest with you. I get compliments all the time on my serving ability. I'm a great server. I'm confident about that. And I hear it from all different kinds of people. And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, rich, poor, ugly, pretty. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you the same exact service no matter what. So when a table walks out without tipping me, it's not just about the money. It's the disrespect. It's the lack of appreciation of the work I just put in. And the place that you're eating at. It's just, you wouldn't go to someone's house and act like that. Why would you do that in an establishment? Especially when someone's waiting on you hand and feet. And it's not just about the tipping either with black people, bro. It's the behavior too. These people come into restaurants and do the wildest things. Bro, I had a lady come into the restaurant I was working at previously, and she changed her baby's diaper on the fucking table. On the table. While people eating with food around. And then they leave huge messes with straws, napkins, everything all over the floor just to stiff you. And they'll hold up the section so you can't get actual customers that are gonna tip you in there because they're gonna sit there for 4 hours and then they stiff you anyways. It's ridiculous, bro, and it really needs to stop. I've been noticing this since I was a child, bro. My family members act like this. So why is this a problem in our community? Well, I think it comes from a combination of ignorance and history. So back in the Jim Crow era, Black people were treated terrible in restaurants. We weren't even allowed to be in certain restaurants. And when we were allowed to be in restaurants, we were treated terrible and we got bad service and it was horrible. These kind of experiences created a cycle of cultural mistrust and frustration with the restaurant industry. But let me say this. Mind you, that I understand that happened, but that was then and this is now. We cannot keep letting our past dictate how we act today. Especially when it comes to supporting each other. If you're a server, if your server is black like you think there'd be some sense of unity, right? But it's often the opposite. Let me be really, really honest here. And I know I'm gonna get destroyed in the comments for this, but I don't care, it's the truth. Older black women especially are some of the hardest customers to deal with. And I know I'm gonna get destroyed for saying it, but it's true, I don't give a fuck, bro. They will hold up the table 20 minutes trying to figure out their order instead of just taking the time to think about it while I'm away or ask me for a few minutes. They're so inconsiderate and it makes the job so much harder, bro. They can't just order a food like a normal person. They always have to ask a billion questions and why does this cost too much and why is this $7.99 and why don't this come with this? Why can't I get this? Can I get this free? Like everything's an argument with them. They can't just be normal and just put the order in and just get the food and be happy. There's always a problem. Like I understand if there's something wrong with your food or there's something wrong with the order or I made a mistake or something like that. I understand that because problems happen and I'm here to fix them. But the rudeness and the inconsiderate, I just cannot deal with it, man. This conversation is an important one to have, and as frustrated as I was when I first started making this video and recording my content for this video, I tried to approach this topic with some nuance. I know it's a lot deeper than the surface. Like, as frustrating as it is to deal with black customers, I know there's like a root behind the whole issue, but that still doesn't like excuse the behavior. is something that we need to fix ASAP, because it's affecting our community, it's affecting how people view us, and it's affecting my pockets, bro, and other pockets of servers, bro. And it's just not a good look for the culture in general. But if you found this video interesting, I appreciate you for making it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe is the only way the YouTube algorithm gives a fuck about me. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. It's Maverick signing out. Peace.